Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just got a call from my buddy Rick and he told me he had something really interesting come into his shop today, so I'm gonna head over and see what he's got. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'm at Rick's place now. We're gonna go in and see what he's got for us, so come on.
Hey fellas.
Oh yes.
What's going on?
How's it going, Rick?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad.
Good.
What do you got for us today?
Well, I had a good friend of mine call me yesterday and ask if I'd have a look at a little Elan for another friend of his that I just met today. And he brought us this cherry little 72 Skidoo Elan that's been in storage for a number of years inside, literally inside of a cottage on display. And yeah, it hasn't been ran in, they figure, about 15 years, and he wants to start driving it. So he asked if I'd have a look at it and see if I can't get it running and give it a once over. So I was quite surprised when it showed up and the condition that it's in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought you should see it because it's pretty rare to look like this anymore.
Oh my God, is it mint or what? Look at this thing. It's in better shape than my 2017.
So there's some pretty neat things with it. I mean, they've made Skidoo Elans for a lot of years, and he tells me they made them up until 95, but this one happens to be a 72.
Yeah.
It's got a 250 single in it. There are a couple of really neat things with it, but right off the bat, anybody that knows these machines at all will see the seat, and that's an original seat. And it's not cracked, it's very supple. It's just incredible. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and yeah, just so hard to come up with something like that. So really, really nice to see how well cared for this machine has been. So, so that's a neat feature of it that's still intact. And of course, the shroud. These were always broken. Guys would ride them with their knees on the seat. You know, you'd go to roll them over or lay it on its side and you'd hit your knee on the cold plastic, and next thing you know, you'd break the cowling on that. So that it's nice to see that's intact as well. Yeah, like not one is broken or nothing. No, and you think about it on those cold winter mornings, like, you know, you get a snowfall, and what's the first thing you do? You come up and you hit it with your hand and chip the ice and snow off, and it would be cracked and split, you know, immediately. So. So yeah, so it's still got the yellow windshield on it. I'm gonna do a little polish job on it. I can clean it up a little bit better than it is, but still, again, nice to see the windshield trim and everything's still intact. Yeah. So this one, as I said, is a 72, and one of the big changes that they made from a 71 to a 72 model, and really one of the only changes, they went to a ski. They have a ski hoop on the skis. On a 71. This doesn't exist. The ski is identical, but there's actually no ski hoop. Okay. So they made 1 year with basically the skis with no hoop on them, and then in 72 they reintroduced them, but they put the hoops in obviously to make it easier. Can you imagine? There was nothing to grab if you needed to get unstuck or you wanted to pull it. So that's nice. So that's probably the biggest, and somebody may correct me, but I believe that to be the biggest difference between the 71 and the 72. Is the hoop. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so I've seen the skis and I know them to be the same. Yeah. Just obviously the hoops welded on. Even the skis are in phenol. Like, how do you think, have these been painted? They don't appear to be. They really don't. I don't see any paint lines in them or anywhere that. I'm not saying they haven't been touched up at some point in its life, but it certainly doesn't appear that way. Yeah. Because they're not really corroded or rotted out, or. Yeah. Yeah, this has definitely lived its life inside somewhere for sure. Yeah. So. And what do we got? We got the sticker. So this is, I guess, last time it was registered. Yeah. 1982. Wow. I mean, I don't know if that means, you know, that's when it was last on a trail. Or, yeah, and you wouldn't. Would you assume that? No, or is that just... You could, because that's the last time they paid for a license sticker for it. Yeah. But again, that's not saying that somebody didn't not license it and then just, you know, use it around the farm a little bit, or take it out on the lake for a little too. Yeah, and back in. So yeah. But as I said, I know for the last number of years it's lived its life on display in a rec room of a cottage. I call it a cottage, but it's actually quite a expansive property. So he had, my understanding is the gentleman had about 13 Skidoos on display inside of his rec room. So,
well, that would explain the condition for sure. And I hear this year it's going to see the snow again.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
That was the goal. So we got into it a little bit already. I'll lift the hood up for you so you can see the big power plant. So the few issues with it that were right off the bat when I got a peek at it when I got here, but it basically wouldn't draw fuel, and anybody that knows these carburation systems or the Tillotsons, they can be a little finicky over time.
Yeah.
So I was able to get the needle to free up there with a bit of back pressure, but it still wouldn't draw fuel. So I ended up having to take the sending unit out, and it turned out the line that goes down into the tank actually had a crack in it, so it wouldn't allow it to build pressure enough to draw the vacuum through. So once I put the new sending unit on, or the new line on the sending unit, hooked it up and drew fuel through the carburetor, and first pull and it fired right up. So again, there'd be a lot of people concerned with how long it sat. They would want to reseal that motor just because it sat so long. We'll see how far this gentleman wants me to take this machine. But at least it's running, and it's running very nicely. So maybe at the end of the video there, we'll try to start it.
That would be.
We'll make the shop smoky, and then that'll be. Then we can air it out. Exactly.
Any other issues with it, or?
Well, unfortunately, and this is a common thing with them as well, especially over the last few years, when I ran it with the track in the air and I allowed the clutches to engage, the track spun around 4 or 5 times, and we started seeing white fragments being thrown out of the track. And anybody that's had these or knows some of their old Skidoos, they'll know that the drive cogs get very brittle. And as you can see, they basically are just disintegrating under the pressure of the track spinning around. So what was going to be hopefully a small and quick job is now turning into a little larger one.
Yes.
But we'll get through it. So I'm going to try tomorrow to locate some new parts for it. We'll get some new drive cogs for it. And while we're in there, we'll check the bearings. We'll make sure that everything's nice and tight. We'll probably replace the oil seals in the chain case, so that this gentleman wants to ride this on Sunday afternoons a little bit, and obviously we want him to have some enjoyment out of it. So we'll have to make sure that it's right and proper and ready to go for him. So
we should have a look at this bad boy.
Should this be Beauty and the Beast? Is that what this video is called?
This is the Beast. I mean, we won't take too much time, but you know, since it came into the shop today, we'll have a look at this. I myself have never seen one of these, so this is kind of cool. What year is this?
This will be a 92.
92.
Yeah, and it's a 92 Super Jag, and it has a 154-inch track on it.
Yeah.
It has forward and reverse as well as high and low. 440 Suzuki fan-cooled single-card motor, which we all know are bulletproof. Anybody that's had one, they know they last, they go a long time. It's basically a workhorse.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's been used and abused a little bit, but it still starts and runs strong. And other than a few bearings I'm going to do to it, and some sliders, and just go through the clutches and whatnot.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it's still a working sled. So
serves a purpose.
He wants to pull his ice up with it, and you know, a bit of wood out of the bush and whatnot. So it's going to serve its purpose for sure.
And there's something interesting about the suspension, right? You were saying to me before.
Yeah, it's actually the slide rails are split at the back there behind that center wheel. So not the center wheel, but this wheel here. Yeah. It actually articulates right behind that wheel. It's actually split, so the sliders aren't the full length of the track. It actually stops right there, and then.
So is this a separate slider for the back side?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow.
So, see the way. Oh wow.
Yeah, look at that.
So you can see how it would work its way back up a hill, or if you were in a
Yeah.
tight spot.
So basically, like if there's uneven terrain,
Yeah.
it kind of
It follows
adapts
it.
to that.
Yep,
That's
it
really,
follows it. And I mean, you can imagine if that track was just flat the whole distance,
Yeah.
how it would still work nicely and have a good footprint.
Yeah.
But this would really find itself
my
planted
God.
through different terrain.
Yeah.
Right. So, but he said they've used it 4 or 5 years and
Yeah.
it's never gotten stuck.
Wow.
So they can put it anywhere.
That's
Yeah.
impressive. So cool. Well, it was cool to just have a look at this. I mean,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah, it's neat some of the designs that they do. And
yeah. I've never seen one. I mean, I guess they're not something people really trail ride, so that
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
explains
Yep.
that.
yeah.
Well, back to this thing. We had to show you. Got to show you everything that comes in because a little decompression valve, a choke.
Flip the choke. Yeah, there's a decomp valve, so we'll put it on. I think I got enough room to.
The light work, yeah. Lights work.
That's Klotz, by the way. My favorite.
I can't say I've heard a machine this old run in a long time.
Yeah. So I was hoping to be able to give you some great news today with it running, and then unfortunately now we have to get into the drive shaft and fix up the drive sprockets. But that's okay. It's to be expected with old sleds, and anybody that works on them knows that's exactly the way it works.
Exactly.
So
There's always something.
yeah, but at the end of the day, the machine itself is extremely solid. So once it's been gone through, it'll be it'll be as reliable as it can be for them.
Now, can you get a track for this machine?
I believe you still can.
You still
yeah.
can order
I
a
believe
track.
You can, yeah.
And would that be through Bombardier or would that be like an
I'm
aftermarket?
thinking probably aftermarket.
Yeah.
Absolutely love people that bring me things to work on and they actually have the manuals.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like original shop
yeah, that's
manual?
original shop manual for 72. So
Would that have come with the snowmobile or would that have been purchased?
probably purchased.
Wow.
They maybe gave them out as part of the deal when you buy them, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking it probably was a purchase.
That is cool.
And this one's got all the models for 72 listed.
Yeah.
But it's good to have. I mean, they're pretty straightforward as far as taking the drive shafts out and stuff, but it doesn't hurt to, check it out. And there happens to be the page I flipped to.
Even pictures.
There's your,
showing,
taking the sprockets out. They split the sprockets, so the sprockets go in and put the bolts back in. There's even a tightening pattern, how to tighten the sprocket to make it equal tension.
Yeah. Guys, well, thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I feel pretty fortunate that got to see something like this, and obviously I want to thank you, Rick, for
You're welcome.
letting me
You're
check
welcome,
this
guys.
out.
Yeah.
And you're, thank you for your time, and look forward to
the
next time. Yeah, I know this is your zone, the vintage stuff, and you know, you have a lot of stuff coming through here. So you know, I look forward to seeing what you're going to have in the future, and
absolutely.
I look forward to see what we're going to be able to get into here. And again, guys, so if you like this video, you know, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you don't want to miss any upcoming videos, you know, go ahead and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.